Alright, we're here with the deck that I use in Historic Brawl Best of One non-ranked, and I play that to get really fast wins. And when I say fast wins, I mean the game is over. It's like been decided who wins, whether it's my opponent or myself. However, there are a fair amount of people that don't know what's going on or they just refuse to concede, which is why I can't play this on stream. You have Phyrexian Unlife and Solemnity in play. You can't get poison counters with Solemnity, so when you're below or zero or lower, so zero or less, you can't die, basically, by any kind of damage or any kind of life loss. Sometimes, what is it? Nine lives used to, like, the issues with nine lives were it could get blown up and you just instantly lose. There's ways to get around this card. It's just extremely vulnerable. This strategy is vulnerable in general, but you're just going to get a lot of people off guard. There are so many opponents that just can't do anything about this. You could make the argument if you're low enough rank, like bronze, where I usually am in ranked, best of one at least. Because when people get to the sideboard, you're probably screwed. But best of one, there's no sideboard. So in ranked, there's a lot more of the like blue-red prowess delver DRC thing going on. Elves are everywhere, and you have a fairly good matchup against those. But in best of one non-ranked historic, there are a lot of combo decks, and a lot of them love the graveyard. That's why I have 4 surgicals in here. In fact, I think this is basically required at this point because so many of the decks are that kind of thing. There is the what is it, Mentor of the Meek? What is it? It's the 0/1 kobolds that you pump twice and then you put the double strike dragon in. That Minion of the Mighty. Minion of the Mighty is probably an auto loss. I see it sometimes. I don't see it nearly as much as I do. Used to, I mean. But yeah, so this is what I do when I want to like AFK for a day that I'm not playing on stream or something, but I still want my wins. Beautiful and Book of Exalted Deeds is another combo. This is an angel. You put the counter on it, and then you can't lose until they blow up your land. You do not need the counter on the land. Solemnity doesn't let you put counters on the land. Some people think you just got yourself and you're dumb and you're dumb that you messed up your own cards. But no, you don't actually need the counter. The counter is just a reminder token that you put on the land to let you know that it has this ability, the Platinum Angel ability. But it doesn't need it. The land will always just have the ability without the counter, so Solemnity doesn't break it. Some people think that, and they keep playing, realizing that after at some point, after emote spamming you, that they think you're dumb, uh, that they're actually still screwed. So you don't have to worry about that. The sideboard is mostly for things that I can't, like, force my opponent. Like, if my opponent's stuck at 20 life, and they're swinging with 10,000 creatures, and the animations are taking so long that it can actually force a draw, like Krenko at 250 tokens. Revenge of Ravens means they just can't swing at you, and forces them to basically pass or lose or something of the sort. Farewell, the rest of this isn't super relevant. Necromentia, right? There's only 2 of these. This is, sometimes I find myself running Gaia's Cradle, whatever the Gaia's thing is that shuffles your graveyard. So many cards. Gaia's Blessing. Sometimes I'll have 2 in here. This is not the kind of list I want to. There's really not that much mill in the game anyways. But yeah, Approach, because, sometimes Approach is right. They just refuse to concede, but there's not a position where Raven things. The whole point is the graveyard is the sideboard is mostly just for those games your opponent doesn't concede and the game is clearly decided in your favor, but they just can't handle it for some reason. Pithing Needle stops Beseju. Sometimes its rights are run for Pithing Needles, just to specifically stop Beseju. The mono green Devotion deck is mostly just Beseiju. There's also Karn that is a problem, so you could name Karn as well. But for the most part, games are extremely swingy. Either they have some solution to what you're doing, or they don't, right? And there's really no in between. You're fairly consistent with all of these tutors to get to it. But that's it. That is it. Just needs a white source. I have this. Could gamble. I have Pillage in this as well. This is actually a really strange hand. I'm on the draw, though. Alright. Let's see what happens. It's a bit strange. Okay. When you see Hollowed Fountain, sometimes that does mean you lose automatically. That might be the case here. Let's do this. Alright. Just start asking questions. Another interesting... Well, we'll see if it comes up here. But I'm gonna... Yeah, I'll go to my turn first, actually. Let's see what's going on. Wow. Okay. Is there a Spell Pierce? Okay. It went from some control deck to a combo deck again? Kind of. Interesting. Alright, so it is Omniscience Awakening. I will assume there's some answer to this, but it's the only thing that makes sense to do. So I'm just going to go right into it. There's no playing around anything. I'm just asking the question if they can deal with this Mutavault. They haven't conceded, so probably. That's an interesting pass. Let's go here. They didn't like this last time. Maybe they still don't like it. Okay, maybe they're just over it. Did I get another surgical? I did. Okay. Huh. Usually Hollowed Fountain is like Teferi you lose kind of deck. But not this time, I guess. Did they find it? They finally found it. They do not go for it, which makes sense. I'm holding priority with no mana up. It's pretty obvious what's going on. White. Let's go here. Let's grab this. It's just another thing that's annoying. Sometimes one can be answered, sometimes both can. We'll see. Alright, so they deem this problematic. That's a good sign. Nothing's different from last turn, so I don't know what compels them to go for it now and not before. Now we get to see what can actually win. So, draw cards equal to the number of cards in the library. Put your cards in. Okay. This can't win through my land. This doesn't exile enchantments. Okay. I don't see a way to win. I don't see a way to win. I don't actually even see a way to win through my 9 lives combo. So I'm kind of interested as to why they countered it. We could go for this. It's really the only thing that matters. Yeah. The Jace can't win. There is no answer in their deck to this. I did actually, you know what? I didn't look at their lands. I didn't go through all the land side of their deck. If they have a field of whatever, that would do it. I guess losing with a deck you copied on the internet is difficult in a non-ranked format. That's interesting. Somebody answered your combo you didn't make. And you're upset? What? Oh, people are weird. It makes you wonder if, like, they always do this. Like, do you do this every time you lose? Or is it just specifically right now? But it also wasn't really going to save them if they had the combo, which is extra funny here. You know, my opponent is butthurt they didn't win because I answered their thing, but that doesn't matter. They would still lose the game to, no, just pass. They would still lose to the Jace plussing. They have no library, it's all in their hand, and as far as I'm aware, there were no cards that did anything. So they would play the Jace, try to win, but this is still unanswered, and it wouldn't work. So I could have actually let it go. I could have let them do it. I don't think there's a reason to. Yep, they're upset that they didn't win, but the game was already over, and they're still upset. It was decided the moment I did this, and they couldn't answer it, but they just like kept playing, thinking it was it. That's funny. But that's another thing. I will say, and this is a very interesting concept, this deck is an extremely potent deck for understanding the psychology of your opponent in Magic. I have learned a lot by playing this. It's been years. I've been playing this for years, with 9 lives, not Phyrexian Unlife. I've been playing this since they came out, and I never stopped. I've always just done this thing as like the thing I do every day when I'm not streaming or whatever. But yeah, you can tell by how people are thinking and what they think is important. Sometimes it makes sense to counter something that doesn't matter anyways, because they want you to think it matters, right? So they counter it, and now you're like, all right, this must be important, and then let me go in that direction. Surgical gives you a massive boon of knowing if you can actually win or not, because you see their entire deck. But there's a lot to learn from opponents' behavior when you play a deck like this, including them figuring out when they've actually lost or not. Okay, I have the pieces, but no starting piece in my hand. But I'm on the play, so I'll keep it. Usually want at least one of the pieces in your hand, not just ways to find them. Technically, I guess this is a piece. Okay, it still could be Minion of the Mighty, though that's a little strange, so I kind of doubt it. Let's see if we can't cheese right into the book. I did, okay. So we got the thing here. Alright. I'm not really sure what this is. It could be Dreadhorde Arcanist. Alright, I moved the mic a little. Hopefully it's not too oppressive. All it needs is a land. Yeah, all it needs is a land, and we have graveyard nonsense covered, so... I don't know what this is. I do not know what this is. I still don't know what this is. Green cards you own? Beatdown? Definitely some kind of spell here. Alright, let's see you beat it. I'm just gonna throw it in play. Alright, it's just green cards you own. So probably Nova Seiju. Probably Nova Seiju. I'm not 100% to win this. I need either a land or this to hit. Okay, I got the land. Suppose I can now just do both. I got the card. Alright, so I got, like, literally everything I could ask for. Let's pass. I'm gonna just eat anything. Hopefully they don't have the same spell twice. Of course they do. 8 plus 13. Yeah, I have to do this now. Let's just eat this. I want to see. I want to see what's going on. Opponent has Aggressive Mammoth in their deck. Wow. Alright, so they do have Meteor Golem. That's funny. Just checking to see what could possibly win from here. Sometimes these random decks have like a thing that's chilling. Alright, there is no card in my opponent's deck that saves them. So it should just be game here. Ooh, wait, okay. Make sure I actually play the right one. That would be kind of funny. Book or Vault? I guess we'll get the book. I can no longer pay life for this. That's why it auto yields. I feel like -1 is like the most symbolic health life total for this deck. Alright, so now it's up to our opponent to figure out that the game is 100% over. Oh wow, look at that, right off the top. Again, it doesn't actually matter, but it's here now, just chilling. Double Q. I could shift enter or double Q. There's some, it depends what's going on, but like there's sometimes it makes sense to tap all your stuff and pass, or just shift enter and pass. If it's super late into it, you always want to go with the one that makes your opponent think you're not there. Which this is not the case, especially when they're not actually swinging at me. Okay, yep, here we go. With chaotic randomness. Sometimes we swing with one. Sometimes we don't swing at all. Opponent kept the card on top that doesn't do anything. Not swinging this time, beautiful. Let's find... keep spinning. Just, yeah, grab this. Do it again. Oof. Really? Wow. Okay. I guess I'll grab that. That way I can Pithy Needle another thing that might hold priority for 600 years if they find it. Okay, there we go. I was about to say, what is going on? We can just get approach here. I don't need to grab Raven. Opponent's not swinging at me. Oh, they can use their rabid bite. I love it. That's funny. What do you keep on top here? They should be aware this is their last turn. Maybe they're not. Alright, ditch. Promising Vein. What? Okay. That's different. Okay. So, worrying about Beseiju so far. Could have a Beseiju. Could have a Boseiju. Do I want to play conservative? One or more counters to be put on a creature. Alright, I cannot fathom there's an answer to this at instant speed. With 1 green. But I did go through priority to check. Okay, so Boseiju. Field of Ruin is a thing. They seem interested in playing lands. It's not it. Sure. I think I will surgical this. Just to see... Oh, there's a mountain. An odd string of games right now. This is different. Sure, they did that at an odd time, I feel. Alright, let's take a gander. This is for information. I cannot imagine it matters beyond information. So. Archdruid is an answer to enchantments. What does this do? Deals damage used for any target. Interesting. I've never seen that. Permanent control twice. Tyvars. No Boseiju. Alright, there is no answer in their deck. The game is now over. It's just up to my opponent to appreciate that. Solemnity... Oh, I was about to say. Solemnity is actually fine. It makes my opponent unable to put more counters on things, which I can't say really matters. Just pass. It's fine. Alright, someone who actually appreciated the game is over. Familiarity with their own deck definitely helps. Sometimes people aren't 100% sure what's in their deck. That's why you'll see them pause for like 20 minutes when they have a search effect, so they can see there's an answer to this. But they actually didn't pause here. You could just be familiar with this. And I would say they are, because this is an well, it's not an established thing, but it seems cohesive. You know, like they know the cards in their deck. I have never seen this, though. Interesting. Sure. Ooh, a discard spell? Oh, no. Well, let's run this out. What is castable that wasn't worth casting? Huh. Reanimator? Nope, has Karn. Good to know about. Bad sign, though. Let's run this out. Maybe Karn is the only issue. That'd be fine. Possibly. Okay, that's actually huge. Alright, so we play you. Now I can take out Karn and learn. Surgical Extraction is just so incredibly useful. There's no way they don't have another one in their hand, right? Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. They actually didn't have one in their hand. Okay, I don't have to look at the hand. I'll see that in a second. Shieldred, One Ring, Whisper, Edict, Removal, 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 Thoughtseize. Mono black. Alright. Okay. Fair enough. So, there are answers to just the... There's no Feed the Swarm. There's nothing they can do about Solemnity except Thoughtseize, which they don't have. Okay, so this is 100% to win, I think. Karn was their only out, and we dealt with it. I can't get approached because they have Thoughtseize. It doesn't fundamentally matter which one, yep. So we do this, do that. Without Mutavault, I don't have to hold priority or tap line lands really fast or anything. I just pass. I wish the One Ring did get counters here, because I would love it for my opponent to draw continuously. But unfortunately, they will not be. We can hold the land. No, let's actually just play that one. That's fine. You can bait out the Thoughtseizes, but I can wait. I don't have to do that right now. Kind of an annoying draw. But again, it doesn't actually matter. Doesn't matter. Opponent will also deck out before me, so I don't need the land. Not that I could actually get the Mutavault in this spot anyways, so... But I just kill the Mutavault before I do the thing. What are they virtuing? Just Shieldred? Oh, they do cast one. I suppose you might as well. They don't do anything. This is an incorrect line, though, because now they've actually tapped out completely. If I were to draw Mutavault, they'd be screwed. Actually, you know what? Maybe I can find a Mutavault. Yeah, they shouldn't have tapped out. Should not have tapped out. Was there a Fatal Push? No, let's find out. I can't remember. Yep, see, that's reason to stay vigilant, suppose. Again, doesn't matter. The game was already over, but just something to pay attention to. If anything, it made it worse for me, because now I have to push Shift-Enter all the time. Because of the priority from the Mutavault. Oh, we're back to swinging. Adorable. I'll get myself a Sterling Grove. If I did not have the Mutavault window, I would not want to have less cards than my opponent in the deck. Otherwise, I would deck out and lose. But they gave me the Mutavault window. I can think a lot less about it. Oh, we're not swinging anymore. I haven't seen more Thoughtseizes, funny enough. So, because I have a second Masterminds acquisition, I could do the thing with Approach. If I have enough mana, there's 11 mana in one turn cycle. Yeah, we can go for it, right? 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. Unless it's in the bottom 4 cards. Oh, is it actually? Wow, it is. It was in the bottom 4 cards. Huh. Okay, well, can't say I didn't try. Well, if that's the case, I guess I'll grab Assemble. Wait, now I have to do math. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, we're still good. That was funny, though. I'd be upset if that actually mattered. I'd be upset. Not gonna lie to you. What I should do is, like, bait out... Okay. I should bait out the Thoughtseize by, like, casting this preemptively. But, I guess my opponent wanted to see a win condition, but I'm not sure what they thought was going to happen. Like, did they think there was an out? Did they forget that card is gone? I'm not really sure, but nothing fundamentally changed now that I have played this. The game was already decided. Just made my opponent concede faster, I guess. I'm not sure. But like I said, the psychology of players is... you have nothing else to do in the game, so you might as well pay attention to what your opponents are doing. And their decision-making and conclusions they come to. Even with what I would argue is, as long as I know their deck, effectively perfect information without knowing my deck, because it isn't really pertinent, given the situation, to know my exact list. So this shouldn't make you now realize the game is over. Okay, it is red-green. Alright, Minion of the Mighty. I was on the play. I don't have any answer to this at all, except blind top deck. The right necessary card. Creature deals damage to you. Okay. This is not double strike lethal. I have one draw. Alright, didn't get there. If I drew Phyrexian Unlife, I do just win. Right there on the spot. Spire Bluff. What does that mean? Blue-red creature stuff? Okay, combo. Combo with counters again? Strange. Very strange. Okay, maybe not. What is going on? Okay. Could be a bounce spell? I'm not sure. Still think it's a combo tech. Canal Confluence is insane. Okay, it's just combo, yeah. I don't know what Canal's even doing. Maybe it's just cards they own, like just the lands they choose to play. I don't know. There's Mystic's Mastery, so we let death happen. Actually, you know what? What are the other things that can happen? Ultimatum? I can beat the Scholar, so... Yeah, I can beat the Scholar. Alright, get wrecked. I don't know what the combo is, but apparently that combo involves damage, because there's no reason they can't just draw the combo cards naturally. It's not like I'm exiling the things this is going to find, so I'm not really sure what it could be, but my opponent didn't want to sit through and think. I don't know. Typical. Mono green is my first guess. I'll grab Mutavault if I find it. Sure. I could just eat this passage to figure out what's going on. It is green. Yeah, usually it does mean green. We're going to get Mutavault. I think because I got Mutavault, I won't make the move here. Could be Beseiju. Okay, so anything's possible again. I'm going to try to go turn 4. Valick hit? I have not seen Valick hit yet in Best of 1. Actually, I haven't seen Valick hit outside of my own playing Valick hit. So, but this is looking like a Valick hit list. Again, the only Valick hit I've ever seen is me playing it. So, Stomping Ground. Okay. So they're tapped out. They need something like Beseiju. I think you can play Scape Shift in Best of 1. There is a shifting, so there could be Primeval Titan, which is Valick hit. More Valick hit. Alright. They sat there, paused, and thought long and hard, realized there's probably no solution to this, and the game is over. Alright, so I would say with confidence that my opponent is playing Valick hit. I wish I saw more of this, and unfortunately I didn't surgical, otherwise I would have found out my opponent's entire deck list, which would be cool, because Valick hit's, I mean, I like Valick hit. I have not seen it, ever. So, that's my guess, though. I could be completely wrong. Because I've never seen it. So I could be wrong. This is usually blue-red. Sometimes it's black-red. It's usually blue-red, though. I think there's an Enchantment Aura deck, too, that likes it. It's mostly just blue-red. Looks like it is blue-red. Kind of an older list every time I see it. There are some newer cards to be played, but it's not normally what I end up seeing. Yeah, so far I haven't seen anything new. Yeah, we'll send this on just kind of anything. Okay, this is actually different. This is actually different. It's got VV in it. It has him. Ponder. Does it have bounce land? It does. Okay, Otawara bounces something. Not as oppressive as Beseiju, but still annoying. So, generally just damaging a creature or planeswalker. Interesting. Very interesting. So Otawara is a thing, and that's kind of it. Just Otawara. Which I can, unless they outright kill me, I can just deal with that. Okay, I just found the solution right off the top. Now there is no winning for the opponent. Otawara bounces this, because everything else has Shroud, and there is no other card in their deck that does anything. They did not him for 2. Now they can never cast these. They could have safely done the first one here. Oh no, they can still do it, I guess. Prowess. Yeah, prowess. Fair enough. Oh, maybe not now. Okay. Back to probably never casting these. But they could have definitely drawn a lot more Had they cast this first? We got a reader. We have a reader. Love to see it. Love to see it. I wonder if they have the auto aura in their hand? They're mousing over stuff. They probably do. Yeah, maybe not. Well, if they do, it doesn't matter, obviously. Restless Spire? When this land attacks... Wow. Oh, they didn't discard him. Let's go here. Get the book. If there's ever a window to do it, we're happy. They don't feel incentivized to leave up mana ever, so there could be a window to book. Just for the sake of practice, I suppose. Oh, they can kill the goblin token. That's funny. It's for the intensity chorus thing. I did actually think about putting blue in my deck, specifically for Ponder, but it never really came out too well. Makes the mana base more annoying. It only costs 2 to animate. Huh. I've never seen this. Never seen it played, at least. During a turn. That's kind of adorable. I don't know what they're looking for. They are deliberately digging. Pretty sure I saw all the cards. It's just auto aura, which doesn't save them. Okay, they didn't tap out. I will do this and go to my end step. Excellent. Alright, see, this is a huge mistake. My opponent didn't make me activate the book first. Something to pay attention to. Something to pay attention to. Oh. Also why I didn't play my land first. Well, it was not thinking about that. They should have made me use the book before they ever kill it. So I went to combat. Telling you, player psychology. It's a very potent tool. Do they have another one? 1, 2... Oh, they do. Yeah. They could deck out right now if they chose to. think the only way you know if they shuffled is if it makes a sound effect, which I don't like. It should tell you that they shuffle. It's kind of egregious, actually. I don't even know if that's true. I literally can't even confirm or deny that. But I did hear a shuffle sound effect just now. Vivi can't get any counters. I don't know if they're paying attention. Cannot get counters. I can't imagine it's part of their core game plan right now, though. Alright, we're swinging with everything this time. Adorable. They're gonna deck out real soon. A Flame of Alnor actually does have a shatter on it. I wonder if there was a shatter window for the book. I wasn't paying attention. For the Book of Exalted Deeds, I'm not sure. I suppose Vivi still pokes you. The combat animation doesn't look like that if I remove the enchantments, but it all just hits you at once or whatever. I don't think they're going to make 200 tokens, though. Bolt Wave is interesting. Not sure I've seen that one before. Okay, we're manually attacking now. With everything. Okay. Fascinating. If they play another chorus, they deck out instantly. So they can't cast those ones. Oh, the Otawara? The Dream? My opponent has it. They think it's going to work. Oh, it's adorable. Yep, they found the Otawara. They're trying. They're trying. Look at them go. Even though the Mutavolt's also in play. Get Schmieded. Yep, they looked for Otawara, finally found it, and then I guess at that point realized this doesn't work, and then flung all their spells at me, realizing they actually have no outs. I'm going to assume that's what it was, because it's just otherwise a completely random time to concede. So, get wrecked. Beautiful. No enchantment, though. I'll keep it. I'm on like a insane winning streak. I'm overdue for being a little reckless. But I want one of the enchantments in my hand. Food fight. Alright, I have absolutely no idea what's going on. Can't even begin to guess. Sacrifice artifact, 1 damage. Name food. Deals 1 damage. Okay. Overcook. What? Players can't gain life at the beginning of your... Create a food token if there's another printed. What is happening? Give your end step, create a food token. 1 plus the number. So no Mutavault. No Mutavault this game. Fair enough. They can just shock the Mutavault endlessly. With endless shocks. Just grab myself. I could have just went right into... yeah, this is useless. Right into... tutoring for it? To keep my shroud? But I'm not really convinced there's going to be a food problem. A shroud necessary situation with 9 unlife here, so... you know what? I'm gonna actually find that out. I would love to see what's going on. Galvanic Blast push. Alright, there was no way Mutavault was ever doing anything. 5 damage. Get a one-time boon, sacrifice food. Creature, Golem, Thoughtseize, Relic. This is nuts. I have never seen anything like this. Well, that's pretty cool. I might as well just cast it. I did take out the Gulligon's command, so that's not part of the equation here. I literally cannot get poison counters because of Solemnity. There are Thoughtseizes. They do exist. Are these actual foods? Like, can they sack them? Okay, you can sack them to gain life or deal damage. I see. Kind of unfortunate. I can't do anything. But as far as I'm aware, there is actually nothing my opponent can do to stop me. Fountain Port. Draw, token, treasure. Okay, that's not it. I'm not going to hold priority until Thoughtseize is cast. Well, ideally, at least. This is cool. Alright, there it is. So I'll grab this one. I would like my opponent to seek non-lands and run out of cards faster. Sure. But I do lose my masterminds. This is where Gaia's Blessing is kind of nice. Wow, they took the book? Huh. I don't know why. It's a legendary. I can't have a second one. The first one can't do anything because of the fatal push, so... Interesting. Oh, because of many reasons. They're not even activating Relic to our benefit. 2 or more non-land permanents entered instead. Okay. Food fight. Pretty gnarly. They can throw food at me, right? Is that how that works? Yep, sure, why not? Find myself I guess just another land to help build up the Masterminds acquisition. Not that I think that matters, really. I didn't know how, like, much noise this just made plot it like this. Just sitting there zapping away. Didn't find it. I'm looking for the removal of these thought seizes. Alright, there we go. Oh, is that... Oh. I guess it's my opponent's pet making the zappy noises. Okay, so I just don't know what I'm talking about. Fair enough. I wish you could disable that. I mean, it probably doesn't annoy 99% of people, but when you're sitting here doing nothing, watching your opponent play, the zapping noises gets a little annoying. I thought it was the plotted thing. It does have zappies on it, but it's this thing. Man's over here zipping and zooping. They did crack the Relic in response to my play, which is kind of interesting. Might as well. There's nothing else to do, right? Suppose it makes sense. Alright. Get you muted. Don't know what suddenly made them realize it was over. They just got to 24 cards and that was the point. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. Alright, well, that's a rundown. I don't know how many games I'll put into the actual video. as you can see, once the game is decided, and that happens relatively quickly, right? I'm getting my combos going pretty fast, and at that point, we're just trying to see if there's an out on the opponent's side with stuff like Surgical or whatever spell they may or may not cast or something. But that's it. Once you get to that point, you can just tap all your lands and auto pass, or shift enter and auto pass, and just chill. You can watch your opponent just like an aquarium, just looking at the fish floop and flop around in the tank and watch them kind of figure out how to exist while they can't do anything. But usually I just do this on a different monitor and don't pay attention after I have a combo, and then just keep auto passing every turn until they figure it out. Sometimes, if I am paying attention, like right now, you can find those minute lines that might actually matter, like getting under mana to get the Mutavault going, bait a Mutavault. There's things you can do if you don't already get it. Like, there are things to think about, right? It's not just play this and go. But yeah, it's all straightforward. A lot of the matchups are the same. I did lose some. I didn't just speedrun 15 wins. There were a couple losses, like Minion of the Mighty. If I had drawn Phyrexian Unlife, I actually would have won against it. I only saw one Minion deck, and I did have an out to win. I just didn't draw it. And then there was another game with Rogues with like Drown in the Lock, and it killed the Mutavault, and they dealt enough damage to kill me. So you're not immortal or anything. Some games, like I think the very first game I played, I saw like Hollowed Fountain turn 1, and usually that means something. Well, I guess it's not even a usually case. Maybe it's 50-50 at this point. But if Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, is the kind of deck you're up against, you probably lost immediately, because you can like Pithing Needle it, or maybe Surgical. You can throw in some Thoughtseizes and discard it in Surgical, but there's usually so many answers to everything in a Teferi, Hero of Dominaria deck. You might as well just move on really quickly. It's no big deal. Colorless is a thing that's annoying to beat. Karn and then Annihilator. You can't beat Annihilator. It's never going to happen. So Eldrazi, like Colorless is a bit of an issue. Ujin, with its -3, exiling these is annoying. Banking on your Mutavault surviving is not super likely against the colorless strategies, so colorless is a problem. It's also really fast, so it can just do the thing it wants to before you can do anything anyways. So this is an unfortunate matchup. But yeah, that's it. That's what I play. It's a deck I play when I am not streaming, because otherwise we're just watching someone play for 15 minutes while we do nothing, and I have to find a different way to entertain people, and I'm not good at that, right? All I have to do is sit here and stare at my opponent. So let me know what you thought about it. If you do have ideas to make it better, let me know. I'd be surprised if you brought up a card I haven't tried, at least within these 3 colors, but again, I've tried like Ponder and random Seek spells and all that jazz, and this just seems the smoothest, most consistent, with the maybe cost of having no hyper-efficient 1-mana spells, which I'm okay with. I'm alright with that, but yep, let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.